Welcome back to the Ambition Over Fear portal. I'm Atlas Opia, and I help people expand their interdimensional knowledge. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about why this matrix is a playground, and your perception of the simulation you're taking part in allows the quantum fields of the simulation to send you back that same paradigm. So depending on what role you give this reincarnation, expect to have a reflection of what you assume is going to happen and what you see your purpose here is. The truth is, when we get introduced to an awakening or an ascension or a shift in consciousness, that can come originally because our soul wants us to experience more of the frequency available in our own system. So it puts us in a particular situation where there is a level of pain or uncomfortability that arises. And human beings at a core, our DNA is set for go towards pleasure and run from pain. That way, in our prehistoric days, we knew how to avoid pain and death, and we understood how to reproduce and eat and do things that were productive to the community without having the conscious ideas on how to do so. So in that primal stage, something will happen that will force us into a position where we go beyond the body or identity or the paradigm at which we're operating from, which created the situation that is causing you to shift. So the motivation is to avoid pain and uncomfortability. And so as we keep expanding, we have to make sure to update that motive, to update the subconscious intention of why we're growing and why we're wanting to obtain the things that we're attracted to, in a way where our inner child is leading. The curiosity of what could happen is drawing us into the unknown. The wonder of how can we turn any situation into a resource that allows us to build off of a evolution that can lead us into where we're going. There is a sense of lightheartedness that is coming from your inner child that wants to be expressed. And when you can view this matrix as a playground, then you'll find more joy in your day-to-day experiences, because you realize that that feeling you had when you were younger, the feeling we can see when we look at a child, is an understanding of the world where everything coming through our five senses are equipped with a sense of enlightenment, because it is the first time we're experiencing those aspects of the world. It is before our trauma and our pain build up in our system. And most people, we can carry that in our DNA and in our body. So we have an association to our body and the matrix that we're living in that could be from a state of emotional survival. But when you can for a moment ask yourself, okay, if me, the soul, placed my own consciousness into a third dimensional simulation so I can have the experience as a human, then isn't it also possible that I can choose what plays out during this journey here? How I handle adversity can truly lead you into a sense of freedom, because we're all understanding the dance between the shadow and the light. But because of our original DNA as human beings when we're running towards pleasure and avoiding pain, so we can survive physically and reproduce from a lower state of consciousness when there were cavemen and primitive beings that were the beginning of our race as a human collective. We have to see now that our job on this planet is not to simply survive. Even if we're in a survival state, the way we observe the experiences happening that are an expression of our shadow can determine if we see this matrix as a playground or a jail that we're trying to break out of. Saying that we come here to this planet so we can break free from the matrix, and then what? We go into our soul, we play with the resonance of everything in the universe, and we see a commonality in everything we're manifesting, and we find out that everything is one. But then you have to come back down into the matrix with this newly founded awareness so you can shift it from, I am stuck in the circumstances I am in, and I am limited to my body, to the circumstances are a organization of resources that are meant to be viewed as building blocks. So then me, the inner child, can take all my experiences and find out what I can learn from every experience and how they're going to propel me into a trajectory where I experience a timeline, a version of life where I am in a higher state of resonance with acceptance and my own power. Those are two different stories. And the way you can pivot into one from another is not being so attached to redeeming yourself because there have been experiences in your life that have put you down. When you stop seeing the shadow as something evil and you realize that you have the shadow and light in you, you have the divine feminine and the divine masculine in you, and all energy is a part of you. And the shadow and the light are different types of energy that exist in the spectrum of duality. And in order for you to be a resourceful alchemist and a creative builder, you have to use all the colors to your advantage. You have to use all of your tools to create that perfect artistic masterpiece. So approaching your shadow with a sense of light-hearted, I wonder what this energy is, and how can I use this energy to propel me forward, is the divine masculine. The divine feminine is, okay, I'm in this energy and it's disempowering. I wonder if I can observe the energy from a state of non-attachment. That is when you know you're operating from your higher self. And then you can look at that energy and be fascinated by its unique characteristic. Not seeing good or bad, but seeing, okay, well, anger does this to my body, and depression may do this to my body, and worry does this to my body. You see the power behind the cause and effect. And then once you just feel into the emotion and you stop dismissing the part of your inner child that wants to get your attention because it feels unsafe from certain experiences, you can feel that energy and it can move through your body and you can heal, rather than avoiding your emotion, dismissing that part of you, when truly you're feeling an emotion because something may have happened, or you're experiencing an energy in your consciousness that's creating an effect. You're giving homage and you're seeing every energy as sacred, because energy does not know that it's doing something to you. It is just doing what it is made to do. So when you can stop judging good or bad, or am I doing better or worse, and you see everything as something to observe from a really curious state of, how does this happen? Why is it here? How can I embrace it? What does it mean to engulf myself in this frequency? How can it help me? When you start asking these questions, your emotions become something that allows you to interact deeply with both sides of the spectrum of what it means to be a human being. Thank all of you for being here. I am paying homage and respect to your journey, how far you've come, what you've gone through, and that's why I make these videos. A new one comes out every Tuesday and Thursday, and if you enjoy the content, subscribe, comment down below what you've gone through and how you view the Matrix and what you're trying to shift it into. Because the Matrix is simply a word that describes a simulation of what it means to be a human. It does not mean the limiting aspects of your human condition and society, but it is a program that allows you to even exist here. And if you're tapping into that expansive consciousness and you want a way to not only interact with the alternate dimensions of your own consciousness and the universe, but understand what is happening and how to integrate your mind into your soul so you're less split between your higher self and your body, then consider my Galactic Quantum Coaching. I've channeled and crafted a collection of interdimensional skills that can truly allow you to do specific actions in the quantum field based on what you're trying to manifest and the state you need to move into. All power to you guys, and remember, stay in simplicity, and as long as you are learning how to be with yourself and you're taking time to engulf your entire consciousness in whatever experience is before you, you are growing, you're expanding. All right, talk to you guys soon. See you in the next video. Bye.